Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 98. Lamar, we have a special guest with us, sir.
Yes, and we have Rob Cobasky here. Thank you for joining us. And you work in special effects, correct?
Yes, I do. I was a sculpture artist, and then I decided to get into film and everything that, spreads out from sculpture worked in film. So got into film, and here I am.
Yeah, it says here you worked as a hairstylist for years, and you made that transition. So what was that transition like?
That transition was easy. In fact, I'm still kind of in it, but I'm now kind of starting to do better in film than I am hair, but that's by choice. Yeah.
So what drew you into the world of special effects? Were you always into it as a kid and stuff?
Yeah, totally was into it as a kid, like the old Planet of the Apes and the old Sinbad, Jason and the Argonauts and all that stuff. I'd spend my money and see, the Sinbad movies and stuff like that. And would be at the grocery store with mom and see, on the TVs walking by where they sell TVs and Planet of the Apes would be on. And I couldn't wait to get home. I remember that as a kid, and being so fascinated with, building the little models, the Hunchback of Notre Dame and the Planet of the Apes models and stuff like that. Yeah. So since I was a kid, I've always been into monsters and drawing and the art of creating and, drawing and stuff like that. And then when I got to high school, my art teacher was a sculpture artist, and then he turned me on to sculpture and then never drew again. And now I'm getting into film, and it's pulling me away from doing my own sculpture displays at art shows and selling my art, but I enjoy it.
Now, if you had to choose, what is your favorite practical monster of all time? That just either inspired you or you're just wow, that was even made?
Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. And you're talking about the old school one, the one way back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The story of, somebody digging up a dead body and bringing it back to life, it's just pretty dang scary, man,
That is a cool one.
Think about it.
Some of the older stuff, it still holds up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. They were so ahead of their time.
Yeah.
And it's like rock and roll. It'll never go away, man. You know what I mean?
There's something about doing a practical effect that just has a realistic feel to it that I think too much CGI kind of overtakes things. And just with the practical stuff, you really feel I always use the example of Jurassic Park, when the eye comes up to the actual door and it makes the pupil bigger. You can do that with CGI, but it doesn't have the same feeling that they did when it was all practical.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And the example I use, like you just did, is the very first Star Wars had a lot of practical, and then the later ones used a lot of CGI, and they sucked. Excuse my language.
You are among people that agree, so it's fine. Yes. Yep. Yeah.
So making that transition into the film and the special effects like that, how did you actually just go about learning that? Did you just teach yourself, or did you have a mentor or something?
Nope. That's a great question. I followed guys that are already doing it in Hollywood. In fact, that's kind of a part of the answer that got me into film too, is, I started discovering these people that are doing hyper realistic art. And I'm like, oh my God, I was just so drawn to it. And I'm like, yeah, film. This kind of hyper realistic film are creations of monsters, and making them and learning how to paint and this and that. Yeah, I was totally down for that. So I think following the Tim Gore and Simon Lee and stuff like that, those guys are just the ones that, to answer your question, I followed and studied those people and tried to become as good as them.
Yeah, and it's I would say nowadays it's almost resources are out there with YouTube and everything like that. So people, if they want to fall into it, you just gotta be consistent with it as well. So
yes, I'm self-taught. I go to the University of YouTube, like you just mentioned, and then I'll go and get those materials they're using. I'll figure out what they're using. And it's things like that. I ask questions, just go to YouTube, study these people, look at how they're doing things. I learn things by making mistakes, dropping things on the floor, picking it up, feeling it. It got mixed with this thing, and wow, look at how it looks, man. It looks just like blah, 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 blah. You know, over the years, you know, you do something so many times, you're going to get good at it, and you're going to learn some little weird quirk things along the way. And that's kind of how I learned, and that's where I'm at. And that's how I did it.
That's awesome.
That is
Thank
awesome.
you.
For real.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so what is the process that you go through? Because I mean, you're probably working with different departments and stuff like that. If you had to break down your process for like the, you know, practical effects and everything that you do, what would you say that would be?
Process would be, I ask a director or the person that's doing the scene, directing the scene, how is this person going to get injured, and what's going to injure him or her, and how long is that person going to be there, and when are you going to, and you know, how old's the injury going to be? You know, let me see how the weapon comes in and strikes the person, so I can figure out, okay, it's going to hit him right here or her right here. So I'm going to do a life cast of the neck. And then I'm going to take that neck and I'm going to sculpt a prosthetic and create the wound, and then make the mold, and then create the prosthetic, you know, encapsulate it, and then mount it on that actor and everything. And then it's going to jive right with their story and their script and all that and everything. And then, like, if I'm going to create a character or something, or a monster of a film, I'll, you know, read the script and figure out the backstory, how this monster came about, why it's pissed, or why it's whatever it is, and what's it wearing, what's the temperature. If it's cold, it's got to have a lot of fur. You know, it's not going to be a bald thing, obviously, if it lives in the snow. You know, stuff like that. Take all those things and everything and draw from all the experiences of studying and playing a monster as a kid, or imagining this and influences that I have, and just put it all in there. And then here becomes this Rob Cobasky style for the client that needs it. You got to have thick skin sometimes, because it's not the right fit for everybody, you know, and it, you know, I'll take it personal and stuff like that. But as time goes on and I'm getting smarter and learning things and everything, I'm trying not to take it so personal. But, you know, I still do, you know, I take, and I shouldn't say personal, but I put my heart and soul into my work. And so that's, you know, what makes it real hard.
Yeah.
But it's all fun.
Awesome. I love that you have, like, you need the backstory of the creature and everything. That's great.
Yeah.
So,
you know, like, if you're going to write a song, man, I see you're obviously a rocker, and I'm a rocker too, man. Always a rocker. If you're going to write a song, man, you know, you draw from your own experiences with your girlfriend or your dog or your mom or your dad, or a bug you smashed on the patio. I mean, if you didn't know or experience it yourself, you know, it's kind of hard to, you know, create, I guess. So, you know, I think a lot of people understand that, you know, in whatever genre or artistic field they're in.
100%. So speaking of your creature designs, one of your creature designs, the werewolf, recently caused a big stir online. People thought it was we found an actual, what was all that like, just going through that whole thing?
Man, I got a lot of hate mail. It was a real bittersweet thing, man. You know, I was like, you know, this really sucks. Somebody ripped me off, you know, and some people are probably cashing in on all this. But then the sweet side of it is, you know, I've got, you know, 40,000 people following me now that have never, you know, knew who Rob Cobasky was, you know, and, you know, you never know what that could lead to. So it's kind of a bittersweet thing for me as far as that goes. Yeah.
Crazy. I remember I saw it on Instagram, I think.
I saw it. Yeah, something like that. It was Instagram or something. Yeah.
And it was just amazing. I could see how some people would get full. Like, it was amazing looking. Like,
thank you. You know, and I posted it so that I can get work.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I guess I went about it wrong and maybe didn't watermark it or something like that. And somebody kind of saw that and saw an opportunity and took it and stole it and made their own little video to scare the hell out of a lot of people. You know, there's probably still a lot of people out there that, you know, don't believe it's fake. And then I hear TMZ got a hold of it. They did a story on it, and they got the story wrong. But, you know, it just kind of makes you think of how many things that were told that aren't accurate. You know, it's
that is
scary.
So crazy.
I know.
And
I know.
The crazy part is that you have to explain to someone that it's fake rather than the other way around. Like, it's kind of like, no, this isn't a real werewolf. Yeah, but I made this. That's the crazy part. Yeah.
And that is the sweet part that kind of, you know, I'll take as a compliment, you know. Yeah, it's just a bittersweet thing. But yeah, that's, you know, that's the compliment part about it, is explaining to people it's fake. And I made it, and I guess I'm that good at it. You know, there are other people out there though that I follow. You know, I want to remind you all that they're so good. You know, they make me want to cry for my mom. They're so good. You know, so yeah. let's keep our feet on the ground here, yeah. Right?
It was great, man. So how long did it take to make that?
People ask that all the time. It took, I'm guessing, about 180 hours or about 4 months. 3 weeks of just poking hair. I had to poke each hair in one by one with a jeweler's magnifying glass and my light right here, you know, and I get right down to it. Bang, 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 bang. And punch them in one by one, you know, and it take, you know, a square, 5-inch square, depends on how dense you go. But, you know, that alone could take, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours just to do that little space. And, you know, it's the werewolf's 7.5 feet long. So do the math. Yeah, it's a lot of work, man. But, you know, like the more and more hair I got into it, I'd sit back and I would pet it. Literally style it, you know, make sure it's all going in the direction I want, poking all in the direction I want, use styling gel, stuff like that. Wow. Really started liking what I was seeing, and that's what helped me keep going. And there were days where I'd punch hair for 10 hours, man. Whew. You know, because I just wanted to get the sucker done. And yeah, but it's a labor of love. And you know, I'm gonna turn this camera around as your audience kind of see the video also too. Are we all on video? You know, yeah. So I'm getting ready to make another monster, and here is a left foot. Okay. I don't know if you can see it in the camera right there, but here's a left foot, and I'm gonna try and make another monster so that I can do my own short film with my own camera angles, my own little story, my own lighting, my own special effects, you know, everything. And I'm real excited. You know, I like to share things as I go. So some of my friends kind of come up with this idea, well, let's document it and, you know, record the whole beginning of it from concept to making the sculpture, to pulling it out of the mold, to painting it, to punching the hair, to now talking with people on how we're going to film this thing, then film it, share the movie, then share the BTS, and thank everybody for watching.
Yeah,
you know,
that'd be amazing.
I think people would really enjoy that, don't you?
100%.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, I do too. That right there is the inspiring part about the movies, when they show that stuff, you know, and it gets people excited about the behind the scenes and how things are made. And that inspired me too as a kid, and seeing them little things as a kid, to go back and answer that question, throw that in there too, into that answer.
Nice. Now you're talking about, you know, shooting your own thing and, you know, making your own monsters and for your own projects. What is like a dream job? Like if you had to work with like a director or like any type of movie, like what is your dream like job that you're like, yes, this is awesome?
Doing what I described, reading that script, knowing that they've got this huge budget and I know what things cost and kind of how long things take. And they'll tell me that the budget is a huge green light saying, yeah, telling me that, wow, we can do anything. And so then I think would be reading their script and creating this monster, and drawing from all the influences and things that I've seen and everything, and putting it into a Rob Cobasky designed monster, and then maybe even putting that suit on and being the dang monster in the movie, you know. Everything, man. I mean, I can get on a plane and I could do your special effects. I could be your monster. I can design your character, you know. And so I think maybe that might be one thing. And I'm getting ready to start doing that and making that happen and everything. I'm just working on a lot of other people's projects right now. I'm off to Chicago in November to work on Torture the Flesh with starring Lynn Laurie. Wow. Your horror fans out there going to know who she is. She's been in so many horror films, and I'm very honored to be in that film and a bunch of other films that I can't talk about right now. All I could say is this is the year that if I have another year like this year, I'm going to just be probably full-time artist, traveling, you know, and doing my own thing and working on other projects, and just, you know, have my tentacles and everything, and earn a living doing that. I see that right around the corner.
That's awesome. It's super, it's awesome. And it's inspiring to people, especially asking, like we talked about before, like you just went for your dream, you're self-taught. Yeah, it makes people feel like they can do it too.
Yes, I want to say something too. And if that person's out there, I apologize if I was too harsh, but you know, it's really sad. You know, I can't, if I had a nickel for every time somebody said, "Oh man, I wish I could do that," and I'm like, man, dang it, you can, you know. And some of these people are like in, India and Africa, you know, they don't have anything, but you know what? They've got dirt, man. I said, you can go out back and a bucket of water and some dirt and sculpt with dirt. I said, sculpt in apples, get a watermelon and sculpt a watermelon. I said, you know, you just don't snap your fingers and become, you know, this magical artist, man. You got to like really want it, you know. And if you sound like you really want it because you wish you could after you saw my work, well, go do it, you know. I guess I just did it, and I feel like everybody else can do it. Don't let excuses get in your way. Just find something and do it, man.
No, man, it's real talk. I mean, you know, going back to the, you know, YouTube tutorials, what you said, like, just find a way to do it. You just have to make a way to do it. And I think like with film, especially as an independent filmmaker, you got to make like everything kind of come together to make a vision, basically.
It takes a village, but I'm not going to let it stop me. You know, I'm prepared to, hear me out, to make my film on this cell phone that's recording me right now. That's how determined I am to do this little short film I am.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool, man. With all your creatures and everything, you must have like the best house on Halloween night.
Yeah, man. I've got a 6.5 foot tall Frankenstein standing like 5 feet from me. You know, would you like want me to pull the camera over there?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's cool. Yeah. You probably have a house that inspires people with art and scares kids as well, which is always good.
Oh,
okay, man. So here he is. You know, I'm gonna stand right next to him. So we're both standing on the ground.
Oh, wow.
This is a bad to the bone, full blown Frankenstein with stitches, hair. He's got, I made your eyes. I was thinking maybe I wanted to put some teeth in there.
Oh, there's a tongue in there.
Well, no, there's no tongue, but you know, the mouth will open, and I'm thinking, how cool to give him like some kind of underbite and then have some bottom teeth sticking out, you know, to be different or whatever. But I can come back to that. And so here's his hands, and you can kind of see the scale, you know, it's about same size. And then I had to, you know, the shoes are real hard to find the right ones. And when you do, they're real expensive. So I decided to just go ahead and sculpt and make a mold and do my own shoes for Frank.
That's cool.
And so this is kind of like him head to toe right there.
Nice.
And then these are some other miscellaneous things that I'm working on. This is going to be a witch that I'm working on here. And then I've got the alien and stuff. And then, you know, some leftover stuff from my shows that I did and stuff like that.
Yes. Awesome.
Well, before we let you go, is there a best way for the audience to connect with you online? Websites, social media?
Social media, pretty much. I had the website in the past, and it really didn't do too much. So I'm just sticking with my Instagram and my Facebook for now. And then, of course, once they follow me on Instagram, for example, you know, they could message me through there. I check my own mail, answer my own mail, and stuff like that. So it's Rob Cobasky. And with Facebook, you know, that it's kind of I've tried to keep that to the filmmaking and other producers and stuff like that. So if I don't accept the friend request on the Facebook end, please don't be offended. But of course on Instagram, you know, you could always follow me there, and I post everything on Instagram that I do Facebook. So
cool, man.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much. And
yes, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, we learned a lot of stuff. Awesome, man, for real.
Yeah, that's good. That makes me feel good. I hope I inspired somebody to just try it, see if they like it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.
Cool, man.
Peace out.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more B-movie reviews and interviews like this one.
You read my freaking mind. I was just about to say that.